argument that, oh, well, you know, they can learn and adapt and they know what they're going up against, but it's a different team who's bringing that. So it's one thing to say that, oh, the age and composition, you know, it's the same. They know the sort of thing to be aware of. But I think the way that Goofy Goobers have been playing has been kind of different of sort. There has been that aggression happiness, I guess, but I think the way that Goofy Goobers just set themselves up, I mean, positionally, the way that they go for certain kills is a lot more in tune with each other. It really feels that way. Even if this is a relatively new team, a lot of their decision making has felt very coordinated.
Yeah. We'll see how things unfold here. It will be the Goofy Goobers on offense first. They played this map versus Virtuoso and had a whale of a time on it. Beat them 13-3, but they started defensively in that matchup particularly. And so what can they do offensively? Opening first blood. D-Cop, so aggressive. Denny maybe even get another 1v1 here. It's John who's with him. Suya also playing from long, able to essentially turn this into a 4v2 single-handedly. And the spike will walk its way onto the site, get a free plant, and put a lot of pressure onto what Sofa and Bancroft can do on the retake.
Very bunched up here, as you say, Sofa. Gotta try shooting towards Hookah, but there's just too many people on site. There's kind of following in the tradition of quick rounds, and a lot of the first rounds that we've seen today have been quite fast. And I think the thing is with a lot of first rounds as well is you just have to get a vibe for how the game is going to play out. As vague and weird as that may sound, it is still kind of true. You have to get a more solid understanding of the way that your opponent is going to play, especially in a competition like this where you don't necessarily have VODs upon VODs upon VODs that you can study meticulously like you might for something like VCT.
Pulling them in.
Full SMGs coming out for the offense, it looked like. So S2P are going to play with a little bit of aggression through B long, and they're going to commit to this stack, it looks like. The spike is leaning A. Danny's going to try to bait out this ultimate orb, but he actually just ends up revealing his position. Jiza trying to see if he can make him peek just off the spy cam check, and Danny will essentially just tap the ultimate orb saying, haha, I've gotten away, good luck. But now mid-map, the attention turns. Suya, spray down for 2. Barely taking any damage in the process, and another very early numbers advantage for GG.
Making this rotate down the bottom. Miniature tries to catch them out, but gets caught out himself in a trade. Now they are just against the one player who is basically going to have to try and meet them at B.
Spike drop.
Yeah, this is not a situation that Danny's going to like being in. Say that much. Spike will be planted. Rotationally, what's the call here, Danny? Gonna make his way through Spice, and there is a trap wire in his way. Yeah, so this will reveal his position. And, well, for the side of the Goofy Goobers, they've set up their post plan actually towards the defensive spawn, and Danny's actually just gonna play for the Spectre and maybe try to look for a couple of exit kills. There's really no way he tries to go for a defusal here in this 1v4.
Caught out, though. Yep. How poetic that it's Decop to finish things off at the end there. Usually the first guy to start everything. He was the last guy to finish everything in that one. And yeah, you know, Goofy Goobers getting early kills in the way that they did, it gave them so much free reign, especially all along the bottom of the map as well, which the defenders didn't really have any time to reach or do anything about. That is, of course, the kind of attacker stomping grounds. And so making a rotation was just very, very easy for them. They didn't have any pressure applied onto them from mid or down along B main, anything like that that would have stopped that from happening.
Very early Blade Storm being earned. Suya says this is the time to use it. Trailblazer will come out. That will see only one, plus also the Aldrum. Guiding Light also in the mix. Paint Shells also being used. Lots of damage confirmed. But the Gravity Well allows Suya to find a kill, get a reset. But the rest of the kills, oh my goodness, they come through very, very quickly, don't they? That'll be now 3 down. 4v2 situation. Nice opening kill from Danny. That'll keep things a little bit more tight as have to keep in mind that Suya is very low, and yeah, one shock dart will find the kill. So 2v2 all of a sudden. Late Aldrome will connect. He wanting the second tag as well. Bancroft is going to find their way on, but the recon bolt will reveal offensively. But Brando can't lock down the shots. Frosty revealed, needs to win the 1v2, finds the first, not the second. So Danny gets 3 in the round, one by way of shock dart, and another beautiful entry. Keeps things interesting here through 3, 1-2 the turn tally.
I mean, Danny was left as the last player on that previous round, just destined to deal with everything. So the fact that he finished that one off for S2P, I would say it's some kind of revenge, you know, some kind of vindication. The fact that he actually finished that one off. It also puts them in a better spot economically as well. And they can actually buy a bit, you know, it's not a full buy. It's not quite as comfortable as GG are at, but it's better than it could have been.
Yeah. That's saying it lightly to be sure. Showstopper execute for Decop. Wants to go right on in, but Danny on the crossfire finds one. Smoke's making life a bit more difficult to find anything beyond that, but you feel like that's more than enough from S2P's perspective. Shock dart will come through. That actually could connect for some pretty valuable damage. Suya using the Aldrone as a bit of a vanguard as he moves his way into lamps. So the toxic screen will cut this site into 2, of which the Goofy Goobers are happy to use. Thinking about doing that, there could be a potential plant coming out, but Danny will go to the Hunter's Fury instead. Still catches the toes of Suya for elimination. But Visa will respond, so we stay 3v4. Brando gets the plant off, and John moving quickly to try to retake. Does find one. Just comes down to how do you clear the rest of the site.
Phrases and cages, and Visa getting kills. He gets a second one as well. That leaves just one player on the side of S2P to go up against. That's Miniature on the sky. He wins out that 1v1, however, shutting down Geezer and all of those kills that he got. And S2P will be able to get the defuse.
Unreal. Thought for a second that Geezer was going to do it all himself. I mean, nearly did.
I kind of thought the same thing.
I won't lie, I thought this one was for sure all done and dusted. But Giza makes a play happen. 4 HP to lock down kill 2, 3, and then eventually 4. Not going to get the 5th. So now we're tied 2-2, but for the first time since the opening rounds, the economy has actually swapped in a major way. Now, granted for S2P, they're still unable to full purchase, but you've put at least GG down bad enough after a handful of plans to be on a save round.
There.
John thinking about Chowling. Decop, the same. Stinger in hand. Haven't seen much Stinger gameplay in a while since its nerf. Decop moves right, doesn't check left. Nebula to keep John safe. Clean first blood for S2P.
Nice start for them. Geezer's at it again. And on A site as well, once again. He can put up his spy cam just to try and gather some information and pass that on to the rest of his team as Suya gets a kill for himself as well.
Danny, connection onto Giza. Trying to spam as the reveal was still in play, but not able to find anything with that. So Brando gonna get a plant off. Numbers advantage for GG. Sofa revealed on the backside. Have to hit this shot if you're Suya. Playing with a little bit of space. Misses the shot. Cloudburst denies the ability for anything else. This is fine. Delaying the player on the backside is perfectly okay, especially when Giza is able to find one. Now he's got some help in the backside to try to deal with Sofa. First kill, not bad. Suya trying to move to the Cloudburst. Sofa down low on ammunition. Comes up to now Miniature in 1v2. Toggles for the spike. Brando's close, but does not expect it. Headshot locked in. It won't be credited with a thrifty, but that's all sheriffs right there to help out, and that's going to be now 3 rounds for GG, as they will now essentially turn that economical
What was that?
Turn that economy right back around. It's getting late, all right?
The economy. Oh, it's getting late, is it? I'm sorry. Isn't it like 11:30 where you
It's
are?
late for me. I'm old. I'm an old man.
Okay, well, don't talk to me about late. It's 4:30 in the morning here, and I live in a flat,
Passion
so
right there.
my neighbors probably aren't a fan of me, but you know, we're Londoners, so we don't talk to each other, so they're never gonna tell me that. They'll just be privately mad.
That's fine. But a 3-2 tally. And S2P looking to get aggressive through
I
mid-map.
know
He's
exactly.
holding a passive angle, finds the kill. Going to use the neural theft, but Bancroft is there to allow him a chance to get the trade and pick up a weapon. So now you can just run right back down to A. Toxic Screen will be there just to try to assist. Viper's Pit is also at the ready. And what a read this is for Bancroft to know he can't push back through sewers. He's got to wait for a little bit of help from his teammates who are trying to occupy heaven.
Just straight in on the site are the attackers. There's the paint shells coming into showers. And the hunting down as well. Bancroft, he's just playing it safe. Staying further behind. He's watching out for a flank as well, but he could end up getting caught out if those attackers do get a bit more aggressive onto him. Spike's been planted. Now there's...
Poison's gone.
Not... Yeah, I was going to say not a ton of defenders present on the site, and that's certainly not going to help. Neither of those kills are. Just 2 defenders left.
Destroyed.
Yeah, I just don't love the play of Bancroft playing opposite of Miniature. You would feel like with him kind of an abbreviated health pool that you would want to work that together in case one falls. You've got the weapon to pick up and still keep it in play, but they both get isolated. John does well to deny the initial push through, but there's really no chance for him to get back onto the site. Frosty finds the final kill. That's now a couple of rounds back in a row for the Goofy Goobers, up 4-2. But going into this next round, number 7, there will be a chance here for S2P to start purchasing, with the only exception being Sofa, who will have to really make some decisions as far as how much utility you want to spend versus do you want the rifle or a Spectre.
Looks like they're going Spectre. Which I would...
Utility's more important.
I was going to say, I would argue that that's more important, you know, especially when you're playing an Astra. So much of her role is about supporting the rest of your team with your utility. Right. It's not self-serving. Well, the Viper's Pit should also help support the rest of the team. There's now Drone going straight through and a paint shell to follow. So far doesn't find anyone, and Bancroft's maybe going to have to back off for getting caught in the Hunter's Fury. That is not good.
The combinations we're starting to see are just absolutely unreal. Astra's a totally different vibe. Aldrone, Gravity Well, Hunter's Fury, good for first kill. Danny has stayed concealed the entire time here in Elbow. As soon as this cyber cage falls, what happens? If Danny can find one, there is a potential chance that he could blow this play wide open. Seeker's in the mix. Sofa trying to work his way forward. Falls. Miniature, next one on. Also denied. Danny didn't find anything from Elbow. The Goofy Goobers get the clearance they need. That'll be good for round number 5, and unfortunately for S2P, that now once more puts them in a bit of a troubling financial spot. They'll have to go to another light buy situation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they did decide to invest in the utility over the weaponry last time, but clearly, you know, the effects of that last round, it's put them in a situation now where they're even further weakened in that sense. And they're going to start lagging behind quite substantially, I think, if they don't pick something up now and make a big change. Sending out the recon to look down B main. Suya can't quite land the shot. Brando finally gets it, but having to use the tailwind to get out of there is not what they were looking for.
Not at all, but hey, if the kill is a kill, I suppose. If you really want to slice it that way. Oh boy, Danny, this is not where you want to get caught with the judge. Probably the worst place on the map you could have gotten caught with the judge, to be honest. So an opportunity here for maybe a flawless to unfold. S2P defensively, they are in a position to maybe find a way to get a couple of kills here, depending on how the shots hit, if at all. Sofa, Marshall, over the top. Okay, finds one. Goes back into astral form. He wants to open up a bit of space here for John. Paint shells. Oh boy, that's gonna hurt. A little bit of damage. Ecop pushing through it. Sofa, meanwhile, has found a second kill. This Marshall has actually done very well, largely, throughout this tournament for S2P. Not often we see it get pulled out, but something to prove. Throwing around some consideration. Do get a couple of eliminations, so there's an opportunity for some force buys to come back through, but regardless, the result was as suspected.
I mean, I really like the way that they very specifically used the recon dart into U-Haul to ensure that it was clear, because as the Viper's wall was up across the site, they knew they had to take control of the back site in order to hold an actual successful post plant, rather than putting themselves at risk in the center of the site and actually concealed by that wall as well. And it worked really well. They could go up, flank the defenders, who were up at the back of the site, and they cleared up pretty well. So I thought that was a good use of utility, and it's just carrying them further forward in this map so far.
And that defensive control that we kind of praised S2P for has been nullified, if null at all. Decop gonna use the opening showstopper to find first blood. Suya now working with them. Bancroft, though, has found one elimination. Keeps their life right inside the link. And there is a defensive showstopper that could come into play, but Suya's pushing aggressively through. I don't see more that Bancroft expects this. Not the case. John for one, John for two. Hold on a second. Both players are pretty stacked. They're both pretty low, and nearly a chance for John to get a third. Decop survives for the elimination with 11 health. And a very dicey round, and one that you're going to look back at if you're STP and say, we almost able to pull that one off, because now you're looking at best, a 5-7. But let's be honest, you're going into a really broken buy situation here. So realistically, you're really just kind of looking at a 3-9, which is not great news.
Yeah, I mean,
oh boy,
this is, oh wow, yeah, they're going in for the force buy, except the thing is they don't have the money to actually get full shields. So even though they're investing all out in the weaponry, I think they brought one Guardian, the rest Phantoms, they're still going to be significantly weaker.
And Decop's gonna know. I mean, the Phantom shots that spam through, now they know for a fact it's a force buy round. So you've actually got to play this a little bit more smart if you're GG. They do give away first blood. Numbers are all right. You still have the showstopper, which, honestly speaking, probably needs to be spent unless these kills can come through very cleanly, which so far they do. 3-for-1 exchange, not bad at all. The Giza's worked his way lurking onto A. The Spike is also a part of this side of the map, but Giza's going to have to find a kill or two before this is really going to be considered anywhere near a contested or safe plan.
Wondering if we're going to see the Hunter's Fury be brought out.
Last player standing.
From the Sova. He's just on his own. He's got to find some way of planting. It's just Brando. And outer recon. He can not find one. And the force buy turns out to have been rather fortuitous, thankfully, because that would have been an absolute disaster had it gone wrong.
I mean, that's super risk, super reward situation. You lose that round, it's 2-10. I mean, there's just no way you go into the last round of the half and have an opportunity to fight back. So now you're in a position to where you have an opportunity to go 5-7. That would be unbelievable, considering how the first 9 rounds of this half went. So great stuff right there for S2P to hold on defensively. They're still not comfortable with this purchase. There's a Spectre still on the table, but again, you win this next round and you've got a lot of hope built into the system all of a sudden.
Is it Miniature who has the Spectre?
I believe so.
Because he was carrying the Guardian last time, so he didn't actually have a Phantom before anyway.
We'll see.
Guiding
Miniature
light
peaks.
meets Owl Drone.
Yeah. It's actually, it looked like it was not. It's not Miniature. It was, I think it was Soph or something at the minute. Maybe it's John. No, John has it. Long range from downtown. Showstopper not going to connect. And in the end of it, it's going to be a 4v3. You're in favor of the goofy Goobers. Danny, though, levels the odds. That's also the Spike dropped over through main. So now the defense actually has a lot of information. They can rotate off of that.
3 versus 3. Slightly less HP on the side of the defenders, and that's going to be a big punishment there onto Danny to weaken the defense.
30
and look,
seconds
the
left.
rotate from the attack is just going straight.
One enemy
it's
remaining.
Completely open. You get rid of the Rays over in spawn, and now you're just left with Sofa, who is not only diminished HP, but all on his own.
Man, and you're going to have to go for this. You feel like this is a very difficult 1v3 on only 43 health. Gonna have to pick up at least one cleanly. You have Suya down to just a single bullet of health. They're just gonna be used as bait. Response shots come through. Recon bolt denied. But Suya, aggressive peek off of it, finds the elimination. So now 8-3, S2P. What do you have in the bank to purchase? There will be a couple of rifles, handful of rifles. Actually, the only player who will not be able to afford is John. And it almost looks like Bancroft is considering purchasing for him, maybe. And then you just give over a shotgun or something over to Bancroft. If you can get the ultimate orb, you have a Viper's Pit, so a Judge and a Viper's Pit wouldn't be a terrible situation. Maybe not. John's going to said just buy full utility and go to a sheriff.
Get out of my way!
Oh no, he's sticking with the classic.
Deploying drone.
You sound thrilled.
He had 2,900.
I know, I saw. Ooh, okay.
Mini for 2. It's not bad. There must have been some kind of consideration that extended much beyond the buy phase. So Bancroft will be by themselves with what we would assume to be just a pistol. Over towards A. The Goofy Goobers having clearance of the defensive screens means that they will likely try to execute over to B. You should know that both defenders are over into hookah. Long range shots beautifully tagged up from Suya. Nebula will encompass the front side of the hookah jump, and that will be enough for Frosty to feel safe to get the plant off.
Spike planted.
John's going to remain in hookah for now, but not pushing on anything. He's just kind of there while the rest of his team just move over to kind of join him. Out comes the Hunter's Fury from Danny. Gonna tag anybody up? No, no damage has been secured onto the attackers whatsoever.
Frosty, first one up. Should be an easy first. Classic. It's just, you see him with both hands on a small little pistol. It's just, yeah, there had to have been something that went wrong there. But the play's still alive. John's turned into a 1v1. Has to work against the clock, though, so it's almost like a 1v2 and with low HP. Brando will find the easy cleanup, and GG will be now up 9-3 as we swap the sides.
Switching sides.
I would say it's a slight advantage. What are you?
You're talking about the round counts?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say that. I suppose. What?
You know, it's just a, just a teeny tiny little advantage, a little bit that they have. Maybe.
Folks, I think we've lost Gio. I think she's off the reservation.
This is expert analysis, mate. See, shooty boy go pew pew pew, and now they're 6 rounds ahead.
Yeah, you're absolutely OTM right now. Oh man, it's about to get slapstick comedy in a moment.
That's honestly what this map is already so far, because S2P are making it that way.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And hey, here's the deal. You know, for S2P, you had a really good look at maybe 5-7. That's been turned aside. Now you find yourself in a must-win pistol. You have to win this pistol, otherwise it's pretty much good night. I mean, you're going to have to essentially force afterwards, but we'll leave the theory crafting to see what happens after this.
Would you say it would be GG?
You could say that. The low-hanging fruit that you're going for tonight is...
Blinded.
I'll take it.
Apparently. Speaking of taking, here comes the take over towards the A site. There's a segue. Miniature will find first blood. That's not bad. But the reveal allows Frosty to trade. 4v3 situation. Frosty Giza still finding kills. Spike does get planted, though, and the post-plant will stay safe as it's mostly over towards the backside of A mid. One more snake bite for Bancroft. And he's going to change up the angle. He should know that there's enough time for him to make this rotation. And he also, beyond that, should also know that for GG, they actually have to push to clear. They find one. They don't find the second. And Bancroft, this is a beautiful play. If he can find the kill, he's got some time. Poison Cloud will come through. But wait, the snake bite. Is it actually not far enough forward? Frosty's going to stick for this. Suya's going to play bodyguard. And the pistol will be one for the Goofy Goobers. They're up now 10-3 in S2P. You feel like they're going to have to force buy here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Do they really have much of an option?
No, they don't. If they want to win the game, they have to buy here.
Yeah. Sucks. That's all I can say for that. I mean, you know, the last couple of rounds actually, It's a player who we've spoken about a couple of times, but it's come down to Frosty in a lot of cases, you know, and the way he positions himself in those kind of little ratty corners, and he's not even playing rat plays because he's not like he's on a shotgun or anything, but he's not being punished for his positioning, but he's in a place where he can absolutely punish the opponents, and he just keeps doing it.
Oh boy. Here we go. Frost, Snakebite flushing one out. S2B does find opening first blood. Decop. Judge can still lock down Hookah by himself. And S2P, I don't know if they've read this or not, but they've completely given up the Hookah play in favor of trying to play over towards Brando's direction at long. That is a free kill. Maybe even one more beyond that. Up top, Decop needs a challenge, finds it, but Sofa's there with the trade. So now a 3v2 situation as Sofa's able to double up. And the teleporter will be hit, but is this maybe just a fake? Spike is considering maybe staying, but now it looks like he's been urged to go over towards A, which means it's up to Frosty. Called him out. He called his number earlier. Watch. Can he find it again? Gets the first. Not bad. 2v2.
Last player standing.
Oh, we can't quite get the
One
second,
enemy
though.
remaining.
Now this leaves it in a 1 versus 1, and look how weak
left.
Sofa is as well, going straight through the teleporter. This is the second time now that they've done this. It's
So
going to
good.
send in the recon to find the location, but Sofa, nice kill at the end there, punishes Brando, and that was a round that absolutely S2P needed to win.
Well, that was probably game right there. If you lose that one, you're down 11-3. Not looking great. So, yeah, required win for sure. And Decop thought for a second was just going to keep pushing forward, maybe to find more, but not the case.
One enemy remaining.
And then Brando's little 1v1 right here. Love the attempt, but Sofa holds it. Quick response. That's 3 kills in the round for Sofa. Able to lock down Hookah plus the final. So that overall. And what in the world is that from Suya?
Hello?
I'm not gonna lie, we've got X-ray. I didn't even see who he shot at. But there is a trade, so it stays 4v4. Brando long range finds one another. 3v3 situation. Suya's got to back out of sight just to keep their life. Going to be chased down by a shock dart, but Danny's geometry not quite great enough. He's at 1v1 with Bancroft, not going to win that one.
Need that back.
Meanwhile, Suya has found one, and Frosty in a corner. What in the world? He just hides out in the backside of Hookah Sands and takes down 2.
This is just a sheriff team now? Like, Suya did it! Frosty did it! Like, what? You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Wow.
I mean, that was just disgusting. And it was a really quick start to the round as well. You know, the way that S2P just kind of charged in. And I was thinking, as soon as they made it onto the B side, I was like, when you look at the positions of the defenders, you look at where the attackers are, they wouldn't have had the option to rotate out in the same way they did the previous time. And then GG just come in and sheriff the hell out of everyone, which is not what you see every day.
No. Many just instinctively going over towards where the recon bolt was. The Cosmic Divide will keep the defenders safe, at least for a time. Danny moving forward will find one. Brando responding. Yes, goodness me. Finds Sofa. 2 HP, backs away. Meanwhile, off screen, Decop finds one through shower. So numbers now favor that of GG. With a sidestep, another shock port, and with that also a snake bite. Spike will be planted though for this 3v4. Cosmic Divide put down defensively. John looking to challenge from the flank. There's one. Danny will get one more. Last player is deep. It's going to be Decop, but he could definitely do something with this, especially with a showstopper. Oh, he's going to go for this. Does he find the timing? Finds one, not the second. It's Danny, close corner. That's 4 in the round for Danny, and S2P stave off the 12th round once more.
Oh man, it's such a sweaty palm situation at this point, but the last couple of rounds, GG haven't been on a full buy. So while you can kind of turn around and say, wow, S2P kind of pulling it back towards them, are they? Because it's not like they've been up against the full force of GG, and that's been kind of, that's the scary thing, you know? That's the thing that when GG are on that, they're going to provide that huge threat. And once again, they're just pistols. They're playing mostly with sheriffs now. Well, A, we already saw what they can do on sheriffs. It's pretty brutal. And B, they have so many rounds deficit to play with that it doesn't matter all that much if they lose this one.
Interesting committal here from S2P. That's actually a great showstopper. The timing completely blind. You gotta feel like John's giggling after that one. He's running out of the rocket fuse, just lets it rip through the nebula and walks away with 3 on it. But Suya, wait a second. He's already committed into the Blade Storm. Has 1. Waiting for the wider peak. That time not happening. Bancroft is lining things up. I was initially going to say for S2P, like, did you really need to even commit to this many ultimates in the first place? But when you find 3 like that, everyone's happy. It doesn't matter what the round looked like.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, that was brutal. And the fact you had Decop and Frosty in that, and Giza. I would argue that those are probably the 3 players that on this map have been causing the most grief to S2P.
Fair.
So again, you know, I mentioned Vindication earlier. That was definitely a vindicating ultimate. You know, and they still have ultimates in the bag as well. And I think that's something that's really important to note as well. It's not like they used everything. It's not like they're going into this empty-handed. They have the Viper's Pit. They have the Hunter's Fury, both of which can be really, really helpful in a post plant or even just attacking onto a site and forcing those defenders back.
Trying to target out Giza, but I don't think the Aldron actually hit. Giza actually turns that into 1 elimination, nearly a second. Fortunately, the Hunter's Fury tagged on the 3rd dart. Sova makes use of it. Frosty looking for the trade, but shrugged away. So now 4v4 we go early. Still plenty of time on the clock, minute 5, and the spike looks like it's going to take its time as it backs away.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because they haven't fully committed to some rotation over to be just yet, and looks like they're kind of still playing behind. That was a nice kill from Frosty, playing in the same location he always plays, and he knows that there's other players down here. He gets, well, not quite traded, it was a bit late for that, but that was definitely a setup play specifically to remove him.
Now the Viper's Pit, 3v3. Lots of utilities still available. Showstopper, Boombot, Paint Shell. Stanny, though, in the corner, denies. Trade will be there. Boombot nearly also connects onto Sofa. The Viper's Pit will stay up for now, but Sofa falls. Suya on the high ground, able to find 1, and Bancroft has actually backed away. Halfway diffused already. Backing off of the snake bite. In that Viper's Pit still existing. Could potentially grab the kill. Now Bancroft 1v1 with Brando.
Poison's off.
Couple of shots will come out. Poison Cloud taken away. Bancroft uses that beautifully.
That was close.
Brando falls. S2P stay alive.
Well, it's about time. You know, that they're getting actually this momentum on the board. It's going to mean that they have better weaponry going forward. It's going to mean they have a better chance of taking this to a game 3 going forward. Because, of course, if they lose this map, then that's it. They will not be winning the Grand Finals. Grand Finals will be over to Goofy Goobers. No one wants to lose to a team called Goofy Goobers. So, expert analysis, I said. But no, in all seriousness, it is really good that they've actually started finding this momentum, because this is the point at which, if they hadn't have done that, it would have been a point of no return.
Aggression coming out here for S2P. Decop on the flank. It's going to be red. Bancroft there for 2. Hunter's Fury was being used defensively, but this is going to come away completely empty. A reason not to go for this. As Frosty does, he gets taken down. Just down to Brando. Nothing there. Flawless round for S2P. With the plant means that, okay, economically, they can fight for a while. And now we start talking about the word comeback to be sure, because that's 4 stable rounds in a row. You win this 5th one, you're looking at 11-11 maybe. So a lot to work with here. It just comes down to how efficient can they keep this offense moving.
The nice thing about this as well is, you know, in the past, I mean, today, in some of the games that we've already seen, we get to this kind of point and we're like, oh, you know, maybe it's doable. But usually one team is already on match point by that point. So you know that you don't have any wiggle room. They actually do in this case. If GG win the next round, they still not won the grand finals. So that gives S2P more space to actually play with this. Now, I like that they're checking the corners with the Hour Drone. We've seen that kind of come to bite a number of teams so far today, and they're getting ready to collect even more intel, tag out those players so they can aggress.
Yeah, Geese is going to find one. Brando actually is working the same angle with them, but shock darts being thrown out will be that information for SGP, knowing that, okay, elbow is not safe for us to push into. We have to put a hold this from the outside or challenge it, and, well, they try to challenge it. It fails. Just down to John, revealed by the neural theft, has taken down one with them, but oh boy, it's gonna be the most blessed timing in the world. Not gonna come through. Giza for 3 in the round, and now all of a sudden it's championship point for the side of the Goofy Goobers.
Okay, maybe I cursed it a little bit by saying they weren't on match point. Now they're on match point.
But you did also say that they've got room to work with, so.
Sorry, S2P. Yeah, they do. I mean, they did, and they just gave a lot of that room up because now they don't. You know, they've got to win the next 4 rounds consecutively if they want to have a chance at taking this to map 3. It doesn't even guarantee them a win of anything. Whereas on Goofy Goober's side, all they need to do is win 1 round, and it does. And they are looking pretty strong economically here. They've got good weapons on their side. You know, they don't have any ults, sure, but S2P only have 1.
Totally fair. Vinny gonna find 1 elimination. Suya's gonna trade the judge for a rifle. Defensively, the Goobers have held on to the initial push for A. Teleporters will be spent to go over to Hookah. There are no defensive players here outside of Giza, who's trying to watch the cross, but denied. So numbers now for S2P, even more so as Brando gets taken off the board. And Sofa will keep pushing forward, trying to deny the rotation through, but Frosty's found 1. Also, I think knew that Sofa had already played in the corner. That'll be good for Suya to find the kill. Now to the Bladestorm, able to dash right on in, gets the right click off for 1. Wants to go up high for Bancroft, but just down to a single knife will return over to the Phantom. 1v1 situation. And from the pre-OV for Bancroft, this is the keep yourself in the grand finals, but Suya keeps him in a corner. 4 kills in the round for him. And your champions in the open number 5.